Alright, we're going to be installing a tail tidy, which is this. It's going to go on a 2007 Suzuki gsxr 1000. This here is the L.E.D light, 2-light license plate. We're going to be using some side cutters, 2 butt connectors, socket wrench with a 10mm attachment on there. We have an Allen wrench, and then it's probably best to use pliers, but this is all I had, and that'll do it. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to remove both the tail sections so we can get access to this tail piece, and then we're going to pop this off. So starting off, we have 2 bolts that fit underneath here, and then 2 on this side over here as well. Okay, remove the seat. And we've got 4 push pins in here. And I found what's easiest is this is how they sit in the bike. So I use the tip of the flathead and I just push down the middle on the pin, and then you use the nose of the flathead to pry up on them. They should pop out. Be gentle. These do break easy. I've already broken one. And try not to lose them. So there's 4 there. Then we got 2 more 10mm bolts up here. You have 1 bolt on each side. Now we need to remove the seat. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove all the rivets underneath here. So it looks like there's 3 per side. So as you can see, there's 2 right here. This is underneath the seat. You have 1 here and 1 here that we need to take off. And then these were where the other 4 were that we took off earlier. And then the 2 bolts were back here. So now I'm just going to pop these 2 out, which you've already loosened up. Now we're going to pop this tail piece off. So the tail comes behind here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out and put it in front of that trim piece. And there is a just a little pin that goes into a grommet here. I'm just going to pop that out first. That works too. And on this tail piece you need to be careful because it's very flimsy and it connects into the pocket here, so you actually have to slide the tail forward to get that out without breaking it. And I've already disconnected this, but it's just a thumb release. You push on that and pull on it and it will release. These are really small and cheap screws. I want to put just a little bit of a thread locker on these. So I'm pretty sure these will rattle off if you do not. Try not to over tighten them, because it feels like they're extremely flimsy. They probably will break. So I just got it on there so it's just pretty snug. That there's not moving. And now I'm gonna wire this up and we'll go. Okay, we're just buttoning this up. We're using the stock bolts that we took off of the stock tail piece that was here before to mount this on. And on these, I'm not going to bother putting the Loctite on. I don't think these are going to rattle out. Alright, so here I've clipped off the white plastic piece that was on here, about a 22 gauge, so I highly recommend you use a wire stripper if you have access to one. It makes it a lot easier because of how small these are. Okay, so on these, they're so small, I cut a little bit further back on the sheathing. I'm going to bend the tips of them, fold them over, just so that way we can get a better crimp on them and a better connection in the butt connector. Now on these ones I'm not going to bother doing that because they are thick enough. I'm not too worried about them. Grab my handy dandy pliers, crimp in like that. Do the same for the brown. So now we're going to stick the black in with the blue. We'll crimp it. And you want to give it a little tug. Make sure it's in there tight. Don't pull too hard. If it pops out, I recommend just cutting the wire, getting a new butt connector, and starting over. It'll be easier that way. And then I'm also going to use some electrical tape. To put around the ends of this, because I do not want any water getting into these connectors. So I prefer to only have to do this once, not twice. I'm putting that in there. Give it a little tug. Okay. Now we'll tape that up. Now we want to rerun this. Just kind of shove it under. Okay. Tuck it in there. If you want to be really neat, you can zip tie it to something inside of here. On this side of the tail, it's going to be easiest to plug your plug in first and then to put the tail on itself. And these tabs here go underneath. And remember to be very gentle with this piece, which is going to go into the end of the tail here. We got our two bolts. And you just want to snug these up, don't get them too tight. You don't want to crack that plastic. And just double check to make sure that you have that ball on the top with the slit installed right. So you do not want to put your seat on with that being incorrect. It will not be very fun getting it off. Then we have the two that go underneath the tail, here and here, and two for the other side. And you have, I accidentally put this one in, and then you need to put that one in as well. Okay. And then our last two go underneath the back of the seat. Alright, here's the tail tidy installed. Let's see what it looks like with the LEDs on. Alright, just a recap of the easiest way to install this particular type of a tail tidy. I've never installed this kind, so it just took me some time to figure out the best way to run the wire. But what you want to do is, first thing is run this wire here that's connected to the LED, and you're going to run it through the back of the hole here, and then you're going to put your screws on here and here, and then mount the bracket itself to the bike, which I haven't done yet. I'm getting ready to do that. And then you will run the wire up through this hole. After you take the plastics off, and then I have it ran in between this space into here. I know it's kind of dark, sorry, but it goes in through there. And then you will splice it right there. So you cut the end of the white plastic piece that was connected here, and you splice those together, and you're set.